Josh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the cert-manager bi-weekly meeting on the 23rd of February 2022. We've got not much on the agenda today, so I suspect this may be a quick one, but I guess we'll see. I always say that, and it always takes a bit longer. So, and as I say this, Jake is typing another item into the agenda. Now it's filling out. I propose that we start with the first one, which has a name attached to it, which is the branch protection bot. Would you like to take it away, Devansh?
Yep. All right. So, hi guys. I'm Divi from AWS. We were working on the repository that we co-own with JetStack, which is the AWS Private CA Issuer plugin. So earlier this week, or I guess last week, we ran into a problem where there seemed to have been a bot that was enabled that has since been disabled because we had emailed the team and you guys disabled it for us. So thank you for that. But what had happened before is that this bot was enabling branch protection rules on all new branches. And some of our development and some of our GitHub actions were relying on pushing to those branches. So we wanted to know, like, one, was that bot intentional, or we weren't, like, we tried looking through the changes that were made. We couldn't tell if that was an intentional change or if it was like a side effect that was unintended. That was the first question, if we start there.
Yeah, I can jump in maybe. So like the contribution flow for cert-manager for us was always we'd do forks and we would PR to it. So we just had a blanket configuration on the cert-manager org to protect all branches. But it's not a hard and fast rule. If you're using GitHub Actions, it's much easier to do. It's much easier to do work inside branches in the same repository.
Right.
So yeah, it was intentional, but it wasn't intentionally trying to get in your way.
No, of course, right? Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that came up with the team is that for changes like this, we were wondering if it was possible to get some sort of like advance notice, just so we, because two things could have happened if we had some advance notice. One would be that we could give input, because if we had heard about this change maybe like 2 weeks in advance or a week in advance, we definitely would have said like, hey, this might affect us. Could you make an exception early on? And then the second thing that could have happened is we could have, if it's a change that we're like, oh, this is a great change, but it's still going to affect our workflow, we could find a way around it in that 1 to 2 week time. So we're wondering if, like, for changes like this in the future, if we could have some sort of like advanced notification or email notice, something like that. That would be awesome.
That sounds very reasonable. I mean, I think this kind of thing may be discussed a bit more in the near future as we start to like formalize this all a bit more. Like, the configuration for this kind of thing has been pretty ad hoc for quite a long time. The configuration for this is still in a JetStack owned repo, and we'll have to move out as well of that repo to a cert-manager owned repo where it's sort of putting on the cert-manager hat. It'll be a different thing. So it certainly sounds totally reasonable. Is there a this actually, that makes me think of a question I've got for you. I'll come back to that. Is there a good contact email that you would like us to use for that kind of thing, or another method of contact, whatever's best for you?
Yeah, I think the best person to email would probably be, well, Brady, what do you think? Should we do the team email or should we do like Dan's email?
I mean, I feel like our team email is a little not super monitored. I feel like when I get some, I don't necessarily read it. So maybe if Dan got it, he could like ping the Slack chat.
Okay, I'm going to give you my own email. I'm going to give you Dan's email as well.
Sure.
So Dan is our PM.
Could you type that into the meeting notes for us?
And I guess more ad hoc, we could just type in the AWS private CA issuer Slack chat.
Yeah, that would also work.
Oh, that one. We're just going to do.
So yeah, I suspect there's not going to be many changes to that until there's a lot of changes to that. So it might be quiet until we start doing more on this. But
Right.
totally reasonable.
So I put the 2 emails in there. I was thinking like, would a week or 2 weeks be reasonable? Like maybe like 2 weeks beforehand, so you could let us know next time. That way we could have some time to prepare and let our developers know. Do you think 2 weeks is a reasonable time for you guys?
It seems reasonable. Yeah. At the very least, we can always, if we want to move quickly, we can do it for everything except the private CA repo, and then maybe update that later or something. So
yeah, that sounds fantastic, actually.
It's tricky. It's tricky for me to like. I don't want to sound like overconfident that everything will definitely go as planned, because there's not really like a formalized point at which it would become clear that, oh, this change will affect the private CA repo, so like someone needs to reach out. Like,
right.
It could easily be that 2 people who aren't in this call could review PRs together, and something could slip by.
Makes sense.
I'll raise it on the internal Jetstack cert-manager channel after this as well, just so everyone's aware of this, and that should cover most people, because most people install a Jetstack on the maintainer team, so it's all good.
That sounds good. So I'm going to just add that to the meeting note as well, and then that's pretty much all I had.
Sure.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
The follow-up I had for you guys was, I saw that you reached out to this via Chintan at Jetstack.
Yeah.
So that implies that you had the wrong email address for us as the maintainer group. Have you guys updated that now on your side?
Yeah. So the email so we have the public Google group email for things that are non-confidential.
Yep.
And we have the email for specific people to email. I think it's Chintan. Yeah. And so we have that email as well we'll email that email when we need to talk about something that's confidential. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. It's
Okay.
you'll probably get a faster response if you're using the open source one, because that's all of us plus other maintainers outside of Jetstack. So you're getting the most relevant people there.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Sound. I will write a quick action for myself. We'll update this. So I managed to see him at Jetstack about this. Oh, if that's all sorted, there's 2 other items on the agenda. There's one about cert-manager APIs and one about the gateway API. I know who did the gateway API one because I saw Jake type it, so I'll pass over to him for that.
Thanks. It was just a very brief one because I've basically finished the PR for it. So the gateway API is SIG Network's kind of attempt to replace Ingress now that we are in the world where lots of people use virtual service meshes rather than Ingress for moving traffic between the Kubernetes clusters. So we had support for the old alpha version in cert-manager 1.5. So now just updated it. And I don't think anyone in this call is using it, but we had a few requests to add it. So it's going to be in the next release.
Sounds good. I had a very brief look over the PR earlier, but I couldn't put in the time to actually review it. It looks super cool. I guess there's not really much in the way of discussion that can be done about it, though.
No, just it's coming soon. Look forward to it.
That's always a nice thing to have. Cool. We are rocketing through this. The other item on the agenda is about separating the cert-manager APIs. I've seen that Miles adding to that, or Josh is adding to that. Josh, was it you that put this on?
Nope, it was not me.
Okay, probably Richard then, and he's not here today.
Oh, no, sorry. Yes, that must be me. I
Oh.
copy pasted this. Sorry, and I realized that there is this acronym that I shouldn't be there, but it's fine. I put this. It's when we were doing the retro something, and we said we would discuss that during the weekly, bi-weekly meeting. But I didn't prepare anything, so
So, right, should we either push it to next time then,
yes.
or we can talk about it now? Like, I don't know what, like, no, with my knowledge of the area that this is regarding, like, I'm not sure there's much to discuss
Yeah.
really
So
ahead of time.
I feel
yeah.
like there already was a takeaway item from our retro that Richard picked up, and he said he was going to check things such as like how versioning would work with it, etc. Might be misremembering.
I could believe that that's the case, but without Richard, it's tricky to follow up.
Yeah, I'll put a note behind this. Sorry.
That's all right. It's not like urgent that we do it or anything. But like that does mean we're pretty quiet today. Has anyone got anything else that they wanted to bring up, or anything on that?
And do you in Amazon import cert-manager as a Go module? Because that would be the benefit of, I think, this API thing. Is that whenever, if you want to import cert-manager's API as a Go module, you have to import the whole of cert-manager and get all of its transitive dependencies in go.sum, which just makes it annoying to update. I think that's what the thing is, but I don't know what the proposed resolutions were, so I can't really comment.
Amazon people, do you?
Wait, I'm sorry. Could you repeat? I want to make sure I understand the question. Could you repeat the question?
So, do you import the cert-manager repo as a Go module?
We don't. I think what we do is I don't think we do. No.
Yeah, because that's it's quite. This is what we're trying to solve, but I don't know how we're gonna plan to solve it.
Yeah.
I did see this week, looking at something unrelated, that there's quite a lot of Kubernetes repos that do something like this, where the sort of upstream is in Kubernetes, but then they're synced to different repos for consumption, which might be a model for us. But yeah, it kind of feels like this is something that needs a formal design to be discussed rather than sort of it being something we spitball. So I guess we'll push that back to next time. Anyone else got anything else they wanted to talk about? Nope. Lots of shaking heads and nods and smiles. So I guess it's a really quick one, and we'll get 40 minutes of our lives back. So I will stop the recording after I say thank you for watching if you chose to watch. See you later.